Paul Pierce. Don't worry, Perk. We'll get you in there for the next Celtics game. Coming up on this show, we'll talk about whether we should be riding Rockets stock after their impressive wins over the Mavs and Bucks this past weekend. Paul and Perk are going to chime in on whether they are bullish on Houston later in the show. First, though, our own Adrian Wojnarowski reporting earlier today that the NBA has made a change to its coronavirus protocols. So basically, if a player gets back an inconclusive test result, previously they would have to be out for 48 hours while they got 2 negative tests. The new protocol means that they can return within 24 hours. So, Paul, if you were playing in the bubble, how worried would you be about either one of these inconclusive tests or false positive test results coming on a day where even within the 24 hours, it keeps you from a big playoff game?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a major, major change, because if it could keep somebody from a playoff game, that can shift the tide in a whole series. So I'm glad they changed the protocol for an inconclusive test, because from what I'm hearing, there's been a few of them today. And so if you can have a player come back and test negative and be back within 24 hours, that's a big plus, because one game could cost you a series. If you lose that player like a Jimmy Butler, a key guy for your team, that could cost you a playoff series. So I'm glad the NBA is doing what's right. Now, listen, they're learning as they go, and I like the change.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, though, Pete. And I think that's a huge change, and it's a good change, because it could affect a team in the playoffs, and it could cost a team a series if one of their key guys have a test that's inclusive, and then all of a sudden you have to sit for 48 hours. Now just sitting for 24 hours is better. But I love, like I said, Adam Silver is a players commissioner. So that's a great job, once again, of the Players Association and the NBA communicating, coming together, and figuring out the problem, along with all the other people in the health department. So that was a great job by them.
And they haven't talked exactly what the protocol shift would be, although I know that they've been employing on things that are inconclusive or false positives. Then they do that really significant up-the-nose test to really make sure that everybody here is healthy. And part of this is just dealing with the virus. Some of it isn't going to feel fair, right? If there is a positive and they have to wait and see that it's a false positive or an inconclusive test result, there's only so much they can do. I don't think that they, in good conscience, can send someone out into the bubble to play against other players with the idea that they don't know for sure. But I do worry it's going to come at a bad time. If it's the 24 hours of an off day, that's one thing. If it's the 24 hours that the inconclusive comes on the morning of a Game 6, like, that guy will still miss that Game 6. So I think it's unavoidable to a degree. Again, you can't send a guy out that you think might be sick, but it is something to watch even with this shortened protocol. All right, guys, I want to take a few live highlights from Raptors Heat. This was this afternoon. This game's tipped off about an hour and a half ago. Hey, Kyle Lowry. Hi, nice wave, thank you. First quarter, Norm Powell with the dunk. And later, he finds Pascal Siakam for the alley-oop. These guys are going hot. And then Jimmy Butler, two-way action with the steal, gets the layup. And then in the second, Fred VanVleet hits the three-pointer. A lot of fun with these Eastern Conference rivals here, and we can do a live look-in on the action as well. So, guys, as we're watching these teams play and we watch Nick Nurse on the sidelines here, news came out this morning. He finished third in the NBA coaches' vote for Coach of the Year. Mike Budenholzer and Billy Donovan tied for the most votes. Nurse came in one vote behind both of them. Now, this is different from the Coach of the Year award from the NBA. That award is decided by the media. But this was voted by the coaches, for the coaches, about the coaches. Perk, should Nick Nurse feel snubbed by his own people here?
Yes. Listen, the Raptors are in a better situation than what they were last year after losing their best player in Kawhi Leonard, after losing another starter in Danny Green. And now they have a better record. They're ranked number 3 overall defensively. Guys know their roles. Nick Nurse has done a great job, and they have dealt with a ton of injuries. So if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm pissed off at my other coaches, my other fellow coaches. I'm mad because, to be honest, he's the coach of the year. The Raptors have the 3rd best record in the NBA. No one, except for yours truly sitting right here, Rachel, thought that the Raptors would be where they at right now. No one else thought of that when the season first started.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's done a magnificent job. I mean, you feature one All-Star, and you're in second place in the Eastern Conference, like you said, third best record overall. Nobody expected the Raptors to be in this position, especially after losing Kawhi Leonard. You thought they would be somewhat of a letdown. I thought they would make the playoffs. I didn't think they would be in the position that they are right now. And if you take John Wall and Bradley Beal out the equation, the Raptors have the second best backcourt behind Kemba, behind Kemba. Gotta get that out. Behind Kemba Walker. And I like to call him Bruno Mars, but he cut his hair Tatum. And so they're very underrated. This is an underrated backcourt. So I'm glad Jason cut his Bruno Mars cut off, and now he's back to being him. But hey, this is the second best backcourt.
You guys have heard Jason Tatum say that when he gets a fresh. Well, you guys have heard Jason Tatum say when he gets a fresh cut, he feels like he's top 5 in the league. So that's where that haircut came from.
No more Bruno Mars, Tatum. Let's go. I like the Tatum that was averaging 30.
P, I do want to get you on the Raptors more in general, though. After what you saw against the Lakers, you're singing their praises. Would you put them in the same tier, Paul, as the Bucks coming out of the East?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got the bigs that can match up with Giannis inside to prevent him from getting all those paint points. I mean, this team has got championship DNA. We're talking about, the Milwaukee Bucks got the best record, the best player, great defense, but these are the champs. And don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yeah.
Now, P, I'm right there with you. And listen, you know who the Toronto Raptors this year remind me of? The 2004 Detroit Pistons, because they are feisty on the defensive end.
Yes,
Listen,
that's a good call.
I've never seen a team that is happy to play defense. They don't even care about the offensive end. They pass up good shots to get great shots. They don't care who's shining in that game. The enthusiasm and the feistiness that they have on the defensive end is really better than any other team in the league, and they pride themselves on defense. They have all the pieces that they need in a feisty backcourt. They have great rim protection with Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. Hey, I really love this Toronto Raptors team, Rachel, and that's why I'm picking them to come out of the East.
See, Perk, they're Perk's pick.
words.
Perk is riding them the whole way. Absolutely. Look, I will say this. Don't teams, you guys say, always tell me, like, take after their leader? What is Kyle Lowry's signature play, right? It's not really a pass or a shot. It's taking a charge, right? That's what we think of him, is that he goes in there and gives his body up all the time. To me, that is the character of the Toronto Raptors. They are not afraid to mix it up. They take the charges, they play D, and they are definitely contenders this year, a chance to repeat. All right, coming up, after seeing Kawhi's reaction to sneak little bunny ears attack from Marcus Morris, where is Kawhi on the fungi scale? These are important questions. Make or miss, next on The Jump.